G'day guys, Wildkard. My name is Wildkard. URC Semi Finals, Leinster versus the Bulls. The Leinster team probably a bit too overconfident going into this game, considering last time this two teams met, Leinster absolutely flogged the Bulls. I think it was like 36 points, 33 points to 3. And Leinster did not expect the Bulls to put up such a huge fight and was left looking shell-shocked, looking confused, scrambling for ideas to score tries. It looked like Leinster trying to score every time they got the ball. They were literally throwing haymakers, trying to score the tries from every set play. Ended up just messing it up. And the Bulls came into this game with a very clear strategy. Jake White, once again, the mastermind of the Bulls team, former, World Cup winner. Obviously, he has a few tricks up his sleeves. He saw the Leinster team and he found, worked out a clear strategy to beat Leinster. And it worked. So two things I think it did really well. One is a set piece. He made sure that the set piece from the Bulls was really, really solid, really, really good. Good scrummaging. Good line out more from the Bulls. Scoring a penalty try from that was really, really excellent against the Leinster team that is largely, Lions tour, players against the Bulls. Players who most of them didn't even get to play for the Springboks. And then we have the second thing that the Bulls did really well is the lineouts. They were able to steal a lot of the Leinster's lineout. In the defense, I cannot tell you how many times they diffused that 5-meter lineout pressure again and again and again exceptionally well. And third and finally, this is something that I thought was really good strategy that Jake White came up. It's a lot of times you talk about slowing the ball at the breakdown. What the Bulls did was not exactly slowing the ball at the breakdown. They slowed down the tackle. So a lot of times you watch the game, the Bulls are really happy to commit 2 to 3 tacklers to make that tackle, and then not just making the tackle, but slow the tackle down, almost looking like they're trying to set up a maul every time there's a tackle trying to be made to slow down the Leinster ball speed at the breakdown. It's not one of the things where they try to flood the breakdown after the tackle has been made. They try to slow down the ball before the tackle is even made, which I thought was really, really, really smart. If you go watch this game, a lot of times the Bulls were doing that. Just make the contact, 2-3 players gets in there, and then they just slow down the tackle. They don't even make the tackle right away. They just slowed it down, try to wrap the player up, and then let the Leinster team work to get the tackle down and get the ball out and get the slower ball that they cannot as a result. So yeah, and then that was a very clear strategy from the Bulls. I thought that was quite brilliant, and as a result, the Leinster was not able to build any momentum, and also the Bulls' rush defense obviously really good. So Leinster was left with this thing where they obviously was really the Leinster was obviously really frustrated by this. So they tried to do a lot of kicking behind, just kick behind chase, getting Gary Ringrose double the pay or something, trying to get Gary Ringrose an extra paycheck or something. Is chasing that every day, all day. And as a result, those 50-50 balls, it's 50-50, called 50-50 for a reason. A lot of times it just don't work out for you. And Leinster, again and again and again, play way too many of those 50-50 opportunities. And then when they did have the opportunity inside the Bulls, they tried to go for the set piece. Bulls just made sure the set piece did not work for the Leinster, stealing the lineouts, stifling the mauls, not getting that scrum advantage on Leinster, even though Leinster has slightly better scrum. Yeah, was able to eke out a win, 27-26. The game was in the bag before the game ended. The Bulls was ahead 8 points by 8 points, and Leinster was trying to score the try with about 5 minutes left, and the clock slowly ticked down. Again, Leinster was doing these kicks behind. Sure, you kick behind, but the Bulls knock on the ball. Let's go for a scrum. The Bulls thanks very much. We're happy to take the scrum. We'll run the clock down another minute. And then eventually Leinster just ran out of time. They did score a try right at the end, but that was just, not enough to win the game. You were 8 points behind, needed to score twice. And yeah, the Bulls closed out the game, managed really, really well with them. I thought it was just the master game plan executed from Jake White. Also, Leinster may have underestimated the Bulls. You can tell that Johnny Sexton only came off the bench 50 minutes into the game. I thought that was stupid. They should have brought him on a lot sooner. Leinster looked visibly rattled by the Bulls strategy, and and it's just like almost they did not expect they expected another easy win, and they just did not expect a fight from the Bulls. So what else do I want to talk about before we go on stats? So set piece physicality up front by the Bulls. Leinster was not able to coping with it. There was literally times where Leinster looked like they had, like Ty Furlong was trying to make plays. Like, you don't need Ty Furlong or your forwards to try to do these crazy things constantly, trying to, score a try every time they carry the ball. It was just, really out of their rhythm, because the bulk, the bulk and the, what do you call it? The pressure, the bulk that's brought by the Bulls forwards really put the Leinster out of their rhythm. So overall, the stats, you can see the Leinster blow the Bulls out of the water in terms of stats. 459 run meters for Leinster, the Bulls 287. Kicks from hand, 25 kicks from Leinster. A lot of these kicks I thought was really poor. Just kicks behind. And Bulls, 31 kicks. So the Bulls actually managed better with their kicking, because, when you're defending your lead, kicking those ball behind is a much better option, whereas Leinster really needed to run the ball. When they did run the ball, they looked good, but they just, really happy to just try, really happy to kick the ball away, and really happy to try to, roll the dice and try to score a try from 30, 40, 50 meters out every time they had the ball. It was, not really the most ideal situation. Look at this. Possession, 48%. So Bulls had more possession than Leinster, because the Leinster kicked the ball away. Territory, Leinster had 70%. Obviously, you keep trying to kick the ball down into the Bulls' half, you're not able to score tries. Despite having, less possession, you have more territory, because you kick the ball away way too many times, the opportunities. So that's like a very telling stats right here. That's something is wrong here. You can't have 70% territory and only less than 50% of the possession. Something is wrong when you have this sort of stats. Some other information here that's kind of important. Defenders beaten, 27 defenders beaten by the Leinster team, were not able to score tries. Again, just pushing that pass a little bit too much, resulting in drop balls, knock-ons, and the Bulls able to frustrate them with that, slowing the ball down with the tackling. Really hurt. Really played into a strategy that the Bulls wanted. Turnovers conceded, 18 turnovers conceded for the Leinster team. Just really, really poor retention for the ball there. Bulls only conceded 10 turnovers. Scrum pretty even overall. 2 scrum loss for the Bulls, 1 for the Leinster. Lineouts, 3 lineouts loss for Leinster. And I'm pretty sure 2 out of the 3, maybe all 3, was inside the Bulls 22. 2 of them at least were 5-meter lineout. That was lost by the Leinster side. We'll have to talk about that a bit later. Tackle count. Bulls have make a lot more tackles. Obviously, a bit more missed tackles, 27 missed tackles. Leinster only had to miss 14 tackles out of 174. So a bit better for the Leinster. Penalties conceded, Bulls 14 penalties, Leinster 12. Pretty high for both teams, but that's really not much of a thing. There was 1 yellow card against Leinster for, what was it? I think it was I can't even remember what happened here. Oh yeah, there was a penalty try from the Bulls illegally collapsing the maul, and who was it? The lock got a yellow card for illegally collapsing for Leinster. But despite having a play in the bin, Leinster was still in the front foot, and with Sexton on the field playing with 1 player down, they were still able to getting most of the attack during that 10-minute period, most of firm control during that 10-minute period when they had a play in the bin. So it really shows how important Johnny Sexton was for Leinster, and to have him coming onto the field when you have a player on the bin in the second half with 30 minutes left. So he's technically only got 20 minutes to play with his full team. Johnny Sexton, really stupid, I thought. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the key kind of try scoring moments. So Leinster came out firing right away. They're doing that kicking behind strategy. The first time they did it, maybe first couple, it kind of paid off for them, 9 minutes into the game. A little grabber kick behind, nice little pressure chase. The ball gets kind of gets like knocked around a little bit, and he went between one of the legs of the Bulls fullback, and then Dan Sheehan runs up, scoops out the ball, gets tackled, slips in over the try line, and immediately Leinster gets on the board. What do you call it? The Leinster leads 7 points to 0. And then the Bulls strikes back on the 19th minute. Just some hard running around the rocks. Quick ball. It looked like the Bulls scored. They were just piling on pressure center field. And suddenly they were just like under the post, near the post. And then there was just like overlap out wide. The ball goes out. I'm not familiar with this guy. His name is Moody, I think. He gets the ball. He did a Rieko Ioane. He tries to put the ball down with one hand. No one in front of him. He could easily just ran in, right? He could have ran in and probably cut in field and made the kick a little bit easier. He just tried to put the ball down with one hand and drops the ball. He did a Rieko Ioane. So, yeah, that was really stupid. But the Bulls did have a penalty advantage. So, they set up for a tap run. They tapped the ball. This was like what they call a training drill. This is clearly something that they planned. So, one player was running. Imagine running. Looked like they had a pop behind him. Was running. And then he just looped the ball behind him. And then another player ran another direction as he's running. So the whole Leinster forward pack was looking at this one guy running towards the right. And then suddenly another guy came behind on the left with the ball. And then goes straight in for the try. So immediately the Bulls scores. Johan Guberla goes in for the try for the Bulls on the 20th minute. And then the Bulls gets another opportunity to score. So on the 24th minute, again, the Bulls were fronting up defense, getting themselves with a penalty. They go for a line out. The ball just comes out center field. They just start crashing the ball, and eventually just muscle and power. Marcel Cortez goes in for the try. 25 minutes in. Suddenly, no one was expecting this. The Bulls just muscled up front, gets himself 2 tries on the board. 24 minutes in, the Bulls leading the Leinster. Before this try was scored, the Bulls did have one opportunity to kick a penalty as well. So Bulls are leading 17 points to 7. On the 28th minute, Leinster was 5 meters short from Bulls line. They were just attacking. They have a line out, and the line out gets spoiled. Leinster lost an opportunity. So this is the first of many line outs the Leinster's lost inside the Bulls, like literally 5 minutes out from the Bulls try line. On the 32nd minute, there was another line out. Bulls, showing Leinster how line out it's done. They go for a line out. This was like maybe 32nd minute, the Leinster gets another opportunity for a line out. They go for more. They get an advantage for Leinster from this more. The ball comes out, just quick ball out wide, lightning fast breakdown, and players just picks and go. Henshaw goes over for a second try for Leinster, strikes back, puts this try gets converted. Suddenly Leinster is back 14 points to 17, 3 points behind. Halftime, Leinster was down by 3 points, so it was looking like it's going to be one of those games where everybody's kind of surprised at this point. Like, Bulls are still ahead by 3. Everyone felt like Leinster could have just like ran over the Bulls. And it's starting to feel like they could just run on the Bulls in the second half. But no, that's not the case. Second half starts on the 42nd minute. Bulls actually piling on pressure, piling on lots of faces. Leinster, Leinster was, what do you call it? Yeah, the Bulls were piling on pressure. And instead of like spreading the ball out wide with this opportunity just at the beginning of the second half, they just kept on like one off ball, and eventually the Leinster turns off the ball at the breakdown. Yeah, maybe they should have spread the ball out wide and tried to use the back line a little bit. This was literally like 10 phases of the Bulls just running the forwards into more forwards. It was it was a little bit surprising. They did not even try to run the ball out wide. On the 47th minute, the Leinster attack. Again, really good opportunity. Leinster knocks on the ball 5 minutes short from the try line. Yeah. And then at this point, I felt like they should have put Sexton on because Leinster's attack starting to look really like questionable. But no, it took another 5 minutes or so before they actually put Sexton back on the field. On the 50th minute, and this turned to be a big mistake by Leinster. The Bulls had a line out, and this was like 22 meters out. The Bulls have very few opportunities up to this point. They go for the maul, and this maul, right, was set up perfectly. The Bulls was literally like jogging into the try line, and then Leinster had no choice, claps the maul illegally on the try line, and then Bulls gets a penalty try and the yellow card against what's his name? And the yellow card against Leinster. I think one of the locks got yellow carded. Who was it? Let's just get his name. Yeah, James Ryan. That's right. The Irish international gets yellow carded. But yeah, that was surprising how bad the defense was on the maul by Leinster. Bulls gets ahead 24 points to 14. Finally, after this yellow card was issued, they decided to bring on Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton did come on the field, bring a lot of energy, and Leinster was really in the front foot, despite having a player in the bin. On the 57th minute, there was a ball. The Leinster was trying to clear out one of the Bulls players, charged the ball down. It looked like he could have got there to score a try, but it slipped, and the Leinster was able to get the ball back. So Sexton made some really good plays, putting the Bulls under pressure, basically leading the Leinster into the Bulls half, pounding the Bulls try line. There was a lot of repeated penalties from the Bulls. So on the 61st minute, the Leinster goes for Leinster was just pounding the try line, but maybe just pushed a little bit too hard, losing the ball there and here and there. But regardless, the Bulls were struggling to exit their own half. On the 62nd minute, Leinster gets another penalty. They go for a 5-meter line out. The line out gets overthrown. Bulls stole it. Maybe the Leinster was running a bit too much emotion here. They were just, there's still a lot of time. They probably need some calm heads on the field, but no, they just keep trying to push for that try. So a minute later, after this overthrow, Bulls try to exit, didn't really go that far. Leinster starts attacking, gets another penalty. They go for another penalty line out. The line out gets straight up stolen this time. Yeah, really bad opportunity. A really good opportunity being stolen once again. On the 65th minute, the Bulls were struggling to exit still. And then they kind of try to clear the ball out. Leinster player was under the high ball that's being kicked out, drops the ball. Yeah. On the 67th minute, another Leinster kick behind, and it looked like the Bulls were gonna. There was like a really nice kick behind. It went to just inside the 22. The Bulls player recovers, and the Leinster chaser tackles the Bulls player out of the line. So it looked like it was gonna be a Leinster line out. But the referee deemed that tackle, it was a seatbelt tackle, so it was a high tackle. Again, just small execution error there. The Bulls get out of jail from another pretty high pressure situation. And this was the 60... this was the 67th minute. So Bulls follow this up with their try to build some pressure for their own, but then eventually they get penalized for running into their own play and obstruction. So on the 69th minute, following this obstruction penalty, Leinster has a line out in 40 minutes out from the Bulls Bulls try line, and the line out comes down. The ball, beautiful set piece, right? Like the line out comes down, ball to center field, inside ball to Ringrose, who runs through the center field position, and then he links up with his players outside. Good hands into the play on the wing. Who was it? Rory O'Leinton. Anyway, whatever his name is, goes into the corner. And this was like a 40-meter run from Leinster in one play. Like, they want to do this the whole game. It looked like, especially in the second half, trying to score a try in one phase. And then, they did it this time. Just good hands, good bit of play center field. Good hands down the sideline. Try time into the corner on the 69th minute. On the 73rd minute, and then this try was into the corner, and Johnny Sexton tries to kick this goal. He completely skewed it out wide. This turns out to be a very, very crucial penalty conversion that was missed by Johnny Sexton. On the 73rd minute, Mornay Stein gets on the field for Bulls. Jake White's old mate, Morley Stein, he gets on the field, and just really all he had to do is to manage the kicking game and get the Bulls, ping the Leinster, make the Leinster run out of their own half, basically, and that's exactly what he did. So he gets on the 75th minute, the Bulls was inside the Leinster 22. it was inside Leinster 22. They were attacking, and then Leinster steals the ball. And again, instead of just building pressure or running the ball, Leinster tries to run the ball, like score a try in one phase or something. They immediately kicks the ball behind Bulls and tries to chase it down. And then the Bulls basically recover this ball. Leinster tries to pressure the breakdown and gets penalized. And then this was right in front, essentially. And the Bulls like, yep, we'll take the 2. Mornay's done this so many times, kicks this one quite easily. 27-19 with less than 5 minutes, like 4 minutes left on the clock. Leinster has to score twice with 4 minutes. And sure enough, for the remainder 4 minutes, Leinster actually gets the kickoff, wins the ball. They just have to run the clock down. But then again, Leinster was just, every time they got the ball, it seems like they try to score one phase. If they can't break the defense, they try to kick the ball behind. And then there was literally like, on the 78th minute, this was stupid. Like, they kicked the ball behind. The Bulls knocked on the ball. I think Leinster knocked on the ball themselves from their own chaser. And the Bulls like, yep, we're happy to do a scrum. It doesn't matter whose scrum it is. We have to do a scrum to run the clock down. And sure enough, basically from this point onwards, the Bulls just, every time they got the ball, they just kicked it down into the Leinster and makes you run from your own half. And the Leinster just tried to do the kicking behind stupid things, exactly the Bulls wanted. And and forcing into knock-ons and more scrums. And then eventually the clock runs out. Leinster had a penalty on the 80th minute. They were just, building that penalty into a line out. And then there was more penalties following afterwards, and Leinster just like pick and go. And eventually Keane Healy crashes over under the sticks. But a little bit too late. This was already past the 80th minute, 26-27. Leinster goes down 1 point. Big favourites to win the tournament, defending champions. And Jake White pulls a trick out of his bag. Now the final is going to be 2 South African teams playing at home. There was some predictions like a few months ago that this was going to happen, and it has all come to fruition. And really, really, really good performance by the South African teams this weekend. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate you being here. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week for the news. Cheers.